Detailed briefing today on behalf of the Union Health Ministry as well as the ICMR. A lot of facts being put out, very positive ones as well. For the first time, the number of recovered cases in the last 24 hours has been more than the new cases that have come up in the last 24 hours, and the quantum is also fairly significant, more than 6,000 such cases. The other data that's been put out through the course of the press conference today, if we could just recall that for you, lots of interesting fact points. Testing has gone up exponentially now. Ever since the 25th of August, India has had a capacity of more than 10 lakh COVID tests per day. The number of labs have also gone up. There are now 1,524 labs conducting different kind of tests for COVID-19, and the Ministry was also very clear on how these tests are fairly exhaustive, although in some states they did say that some states prefer to conduct the quicker, the half an hour test that gives results in half an hour, the antigen one, but the proportion of RT-PCR tests is also quite large, because that has been a bit of a concern. Also, the recovered COVID-19 cases are 3.4 times now than the number of active cases in the country. So a lot of positive data coming forth in the fight against COVID-19. Sero survey will also be coming out very soon. That's what the ICMR said in 10 hotspot cities, and it has also been said that there is progress being made on the vaccine development front within the country, and there are talks on with Russia for Sputnik 5 as well, and that again will be further informed as things develop. Let's now move on to the other news of the day. Well, now the big news that has come in a short while back is that a 13,500 page charge sheet has been filed by the National Investigation Agency in the 2019 Pulwama terror attack. Over 25 people have been named in this charge sheet, and these include 7 Pakistani nationals, and there are 12 others as well. 6 of those named have been killed. Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar's name tops the list. He is said to be the mastermind behind the attack. Azhar's brothers Rauf Asghar and Ammar Alvi are accused of conspiracy and training terrorists, as well as providing logistics for the attack. The agency has also released 2 photographs, one of the terrorists Muhammad Umar Farooq, Samir Dar and Adil Dar while making ID, and the second of the vehicle that was used in the attack. On the 14th of February last year, a convoy of vehicles carrying security personnel on the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway was attacked by a vehicle-borne suicide bomber in the Pulwama district of Jammu and Kashmir. And now, more than a year later, a charge sheet which is 13,500 pages long has been filed by the NIA. And this names 7 Pakistani nationals out of a total of 25 people, of whom 6 have already been killed. Some have been apprehended as well, and now it will be very interesting to find out how this case will be taken forward, because the way it happened, the attacker, the suicide bomber, was killed along with the vehicle, and then although it was difficult to pick up the strings of the probe, the NIA took over immediately and unraveled the case, which has resulted in this extremely lengthy, voluminous charge sheet. Sudhakar Das now joins me on the phone line. Sudhakar, just tell us, how does this charge sheet really put across how the probe was conducted, and how has it come to identifying all these accused, 7 of them based in Pakistan?
Yes, Gautam, actually the NIA charge sheet named 19 people, which included 7 Pakistani, and among 7 Pakistani, Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar was named as the mastermind of the February 19 Pulwama suicide attack. Along with the Jaish-e chief, 18 other terrorists have been named as accused in the terror attack on security forces, which had resulted in the killing of 40 CRPF personnel. And Gautam, the NIA relied on scientific and digital evidences to compile the charge sheet. Call recordings, WhatsApp chats with pictures of explosives, which we were showing on the television, including RDX being taken were recovered from the phone of Umar Farooq, who trained the Fidain attacker. He was a Jaish commander, and after infiltrating in India, he was killed by the security forces. Besides mobile footages, the NIA also found footprints of infiltrating groups bringing RDX with them from the international border in the Jammu sector. So a lot of evidences, including digital evidences, voice intercept, WhatsApp messages, videos, pictures, chats, all these are the part of the NIA charge sheet. We know about that, Gautam, that the charge sheet, which runs into 13,500 pages, this includes Masood Azhar's brother, Rauf Asgar, Ammar Alvi, who is a cousin brother of Masood Azhar, also some other Pakistani nationals, including some who have been killed by the security forces. According to the NIA sources, the charge sheet also mentioned about a video in which Masood Azhar was condemning killing of his nephew Osman Haider in trial in 2018.
Okay.
And he voted for, like, you can say that he said that we must take revenge of that killing by the security forces. NIA charge sheet also pointed out Jaish plans about second attack after the Pulwama attack. After, you can say that India did an air strike on terror camps, Jaish was also planning a second attack like Pulwama after that strike. So all those things were mentioned in this 13,500 pages document, the charge sheet which was filed by the agency in Jammu today.
All right, all right. Thanks a lot for joining us, Sudhakar. We'll have to see how this charge sheet is then taken forward, because this basically means that the trial has to be conducted. We do have some people in custody, but like the charge sheet itself says, out of the 19, 7 of them are Pakistani nationals. So we'll have to see how this matter will be taken forward so that all these accused are brought to justice within India. Moving on further now, India has hit out at Pakistan for its litany of lies at the United Nations after Islamabad's UN envoy claimed to have given a statement in a Security Council meeting which was not open to non-council members. India's permanent mission at the UN said that the biggest sponsor of cross-border terrorism against it is now trying to masquerade as a victim of terrorism. Calling out Pakistan's lie that it has been a target of cross-border terrorism for decades, India said a lie repeated 100 times will not become truth. Now, speaking of Pakistan's 5 lies, first on the list is that it has been a target of cross-border terrorism for decades, when the truth is that Pakistan is the biggest sponsor of cross-border terrorism against India. Many sanctioned terrorists and entities continue to operate with impunity inside Pakistan. Pakistan's PM Imran Khan admitted to presence of 40 to 50,000 terrorists in Pakistan in the 2019 UNGA. If you talk about the second lie, Pakistan decimated Al-Qaeda from the region. That's what Pakistan is claiming. But the truth is that Osama bin Laden was hiding in Pakistan in plain sight, and US forces got to him in Abbottabad. Pakistan's Prime Minister even referred to bin Laden as a martyr. The next falsehood is a laughable claim, that's what India has called it, that India hired terrorists as mercenaries to hit Pakistan. The truth, as firmly stated by India, is that Pakistan is known as a sponsor of cross-border terrorism. Pakistan has made the world suffer due to its actions. Lie number 4, Pakistan has claimed that there are Indians on the 1267 sanctions list. But the truth of the matter is that this list is in plain sight. It is in public domain. It's plain for the world to see that none of the individuals mentioned are, on that list that Pakistan seems to claim. The 1267 committee works on the basis of evidence and nothing on conjecture. The last and the most ridiculous assertion by Pakistan is about the internal affairs of India. The truth there is that Pakistan needs to introspect, since the minority population in the country has dropped drastically since 1947. Minorities are now just about 3% of Pakistan's population. Nothing short of systemic cleansing has been on in Pakistan. India's sovereign actions in Jammu and Kashmir are for the welfare of its people. Now, in tragic news, 4 people have lost their lives as a 5-story building in Kajalpuri locality in Raigad district of Maharashtra's Bihar collapsed. Rescue operations have been underway and they've been on at full swing. The incident took place last evening. Over 60 people have been rescued alive, while few are still feared to be trapped in the debris. 3 National Disaster Response Force teams are engaged in rescue and relief operations. The injured are being treated, while some have been discharged as well. Those with serious injuries have been shifted to Mumbai for advanced treatment. Around 50 families had been residing in the building, which is said to have been built about a decade ago.
ये हादसा दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है और इसमें कम से कम अभी 15 से 20 लोग यहाँ पर मलबे में दबे हुए हैं और एक की मौत हुई है, 7 से 8 जख्मी है। और निश्चित रूप से ये जो काम हुआ है इसमें बहुत ही लापरवाही बरती गई है। जो बिल्डर है उसने क्वालिटी काम नहीं किया है, इसलिए उसके ऊपर FIR लॉन्च हुआ है और जो भी अधिकारियों ने अपने अधिकार में इसको बांधकाम परवानगी दी है, CC OC जो दी हुई है उसके ऊपर कड़ी कार्रवाई करने की सूचना भी मैंने दी हुई है।
And President Ramnath Kovind as well as Prime Minister Modi have expressed grief over the Malad building collapse. The President has said in a tweet, and I quote, "The news of the building collapse at Mahar in Raigad in Maharashtra and the loss of lives is distressing. My thoughts and prayers are with the accident victims. I wish speedy recovery for the injured." Local authorities and NDRF teams are coordinating rescue and relief efforts. The Prime Minister has also said in a tweet that he has been saddened by the incident and he is praying that the injured recover soon. He further said that local authorities and NDRF teams are at the site of the tragedy and are providing all possible assistance. Now, if you talk about the flood situation in different parts of the country, let's talk about Bihar first. And there's no significant change as far as the flooding there is concerned. As many as 1,333 panchayats of 130 blocks in 16 districts are still facing the wrath of flooding waters. A total of over 83 lakh people have been affected by these floods. 27 people have so far lost their lives in the current flood fury. According to the Disaster Management Department, Muzaffarpur remains the most affected area, where 287 panchayats have been impacted. In Darbhanga, 227 panchayats are affected. Sitamarhi, East Champaran and Saran districts are other affected districts, where over 100 panchayats each are submerged in flood waters. 109 community kitchens are being run in Darbhanga, from where over 93,000 people are getting cooked food. More than 10 lakh families have been provided ex gratia relief of 6,000 rupees per family through direct benefit transfer. Now, according to the State Water Resource Department, water discharge from Kosi and Gandak barrages has remained over 1.2 lakh cusecs, and the river Bagmati is still above the danger mark in Katonja, Benibad and Hayaghat. The river Buri Gandak is flowing above the danger mark in Rosra and Khagaria, while the river Ganga has been flowing above the red mark in Gandhighat in Patna, Hathida and Kahalgaon. According to the Met Department, heavy rainfall has occurred in the catchment areas of Bagmati and Adwara group of rivers in Nepal, and this may result in increase of water levels in these rivers in Bihar in the coming couple of days. Now, heavy to very heavy rain has also lashed many parts of Gujarat for the last few days. The incessant rains have created flood-like situations in many districts of Saurashtra and North Gujarat. Following heavy to very heavy rainfall during the last 36 hours, most of the rivers in North Central and Saurashtra region are in spate. A red alert has been sounded in areas along the banks of the rivers. The rains have increased the inflow of water at the Machu Dam at Morbi in the state as well. Okay, politics now, and senior Congress leader Kapil Sibal, who is among the 23 party leaders who wrote to Sonia Gandhi seeking an organizational overhaul, tweeted once again today saying it is not about a post but about the country that matters most. A day after the stormy Congress Working Committee meeting, Sibal made the remarks in a cryptic tweet. And earlier on Monday, after a marathon meeting of a party's top decision-making body, the CWC urged Sonia Gandhi to continue as its interim chief till an AICC session can be convened. The CWC also resolved that inner party issues cannot be deliberated through the media or in public fora, and all such issues must be raised within the party in the interest of propriety and discipline. Meanwhile, in a one-liner, Sanjay Jha has also tweeted saying this is just the end of the beginning. The former Congress spokesperson was suspended from the party last month with immediate effect for anti-party activities. And we're getting you those details again, the important ones about the NIA filing a 13,500-page charge sheet in the Pulwama terror attack case against 19 accused, 7 of whom are Pakistani nationals. Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar has been named as the main accused in this case. And India has once again exposed 5 big lies of Pakistan. It has slammed Pakistan for masquerading itself as a victim of terrorism when sanctioned terrorists continue to operate from its soil against India at a claimed UNSC session. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari lays the foundation stones for 45 highway projects in Madhya Pradesh. 1,361-kilometer long road projects will pave the way for development in the state with enhanced connectivity and economic growth. The Supreme Court reserved its verdict on the quantum of sentence in contempt case against lawyer Prashant Bhushan. New Apex Court bench to hear the contempt case against Bhushan from next month as Justice Arun Mishra retires in the first week of September. Four persons killed in the Bihar building collapse in Raigad district of Maharashtra. Nearly 60 rescued, including a child. Case filed against builder. President and Prime Minister expressed grief over the mishap. And that's all we have for the moment in this edition of the news right here on DD News and DD India. But stay tuned for all the latest.